Imagine a galaxy with the clumsiest Gungan in all of Naboo. The one everyone laughed at, the one no one took seriously. Wasn't a fool at all, but a master manipulator, a Sith Lord hiding in plain sight. What if Jar Jar Binks wasn't just comic relief, but the true Phantom Menace? This is the story of how one of the most ridiculed characters in Star Wars could secretly be the greatest villain the galaxy ever faced. At first glance, Jar Jar Binks seems harmless. His voice is goofy, his movements erratic, his decisions reckless. But throughout the Phantom Menace, he consistently defies probability. From a moment Qui-Gon Jinn saves him on Naboo, Jar Jar attaches himself to events that change the galaxy's fate. He accidentally guides the Jedi to Gungan City, coincidentally helps unite the Naboo and Gungans, and somehow becomes a key figure in a planetary victory. But when you look closer, it all seems a little too convenient. How does someone this unskilled survive blaster fire, droid armies, and deadly duels without a scratch? The simplest answer: he's using the Force. Think back to the Battle of Naboo. Jar Jar stumbles into a battle droid, flings his arms, and somehow takes out entire squadrons. His movements are chaotic, yet the results are devastatingly precise. Each slip, each stumble, somehow turns the tide of battle. That's not luck. That's intention disguised as incompetence. And this is where the theory begins. Jar Jar Binks may have been using drunken, erratic fighting techniques, much like real-world martial art styles that rely on deception and unpredictability. But in the Star Wars universe, that unpredictability could easily be enhanced by the Force. Every oops might have been a well-timed push or pull of energy. After the events of the Phantom Menace, Jar Jar doesn't fade away. He rises in power. Suddenly, he's a representative in the Galactic Senate. That's like a random foot soldier from Naboo becoming a high-ranking politician overnight. Nobody questions it, not even Padme Amidala. But the Sith thrive in manipulation and politics, and Jar Jar's ascent mirrors exactly how Sidious infiltrated the Senate. Both hid behind masks. Palpatine's was charisma, Jar Jar's was foolishness. And perhaps most importantly, when Padme is off-world during Attack of the Clones, it's Jar Jar who steps forward to make the most consequential political move in galactic history. He proposes giving Chancellor Palpatine emergency powers. That single moment gives rise to the Galactic Empire. If Palpatine is the brain behind the Empire, then Jar Jar is its beating heart. So ask yourself, why would Palpatine trust Jar Jar to do that? Why would he risk such a crucial moment on a Gungan no one respects? The answer: maybe Jar Jar wasn't his pawn, but his partner. Watch Palpatine's interactions with him. They're unusually friendly. Palpatine's tone softens, his gaze approving. There's no manipulation visible, because none is needed. Jar Jar already knows what to do. Could it be that behind closed doors, the two conspired together to dismantle the Republic from within? Jar Jar gives Palpatine the excuse to seize control, and Palpatine shields Jar Jar from suspicion. Together, they become the perfect Sith duo, master and apprentice. If this sounds outlandish, remember, George Lucas originally said that Jar Jar had a bigger role planned than anyone realized. Ahmed Best, Jar Jar's actor, confirmed that Lucas had told him Jar Jar was going to be the key to everything. That key may not have been comic relief. It may have been something darker. Lucas has always loved symmetry. Yoda hides immense wisdom behind foolishness. Why not have a Sith who hides immense darkness behind stupidity? Yoda's speech is strange, backward, and confusing. Jar Jar's is similar. The Jedi Master and the Gungan may have been mirror images. One light, one dark. Two masters of disguise operating on opposite ends of the Force. Now, think about Jar Jar's body language. Those wide, sweeping gestures, his big, exaggerated movements. They look silly, but what if they're more than just flailing? Sith use hand motions to influence minds. Imagine if each wave, each dramatic motion, was a subtle Force suggestion. We see entire crowds swayed by Jar Jar's speeches. Maybe it wasn't charisma, it was mind control. Perhaps when he convinced the Senate to grant Palpatine power, He wasn't just speaking persuasively. He was bending the will of hundreds of senators. A massive Jedi-level mind trick performed right in front of everyone. If Jar Jar was truly a Sith Lord, it means the Clone Wars, the rise of the Empire, might never have happened without him. That puts him on the same level of influence as Darth Sidious himself. And here's where things get chilling. After Palpatine's rise, Jar Jar disappears. He doesn't die on screen, he's not captured, and he's not mentioned again in the films. He just vanishes. In the expanded lore, he's said to have become a street performer, shunned by society. But that could easily be a cover story, a way for him to disappear into the shadows while the galaxy focuses on the new emperor. Maybe he went underground, continuing to manipulate from afar. Or perhaps Palpatine turned on him, fearing his apprentice might one day overthrow him, as Sith tradition demands. Now imagine the alternate timeline, the one where Lucas didn't cut the Darth Jar Jar arc. The reveal would have shattered fans' perception of Star Wars. Picture this. In Revenge of the Sith, as Anakin is torn between the light and dark, Jar Jar appears one final time. Not as a fool, but as a shadowed figure in the Jedi temple ruins. His eyes glow faintly yellow. His voice deepens. Mace have been expecting you, Ani. Suddenly, it all clicks. The clumsiness, the luck, the influence, it was all a mask. Jar Jar reveals that he was manipulating Anakin's path from the very start. That he whispered into Palpatine's ear. That every death, every betrayal, every turn of fate was by his design. Anakin, in shock, might lash out, only to realize that even his anger was part of Jar Jar's plan. The Chosen One wasn't born by prophecy. It was manufactured by a Sith plot that began with a single Misa. Even deeper than that, Darth Jar Jar's existence would change how we view the Force itself. It would prove that darkness can hide behind innocence, that evil can wear the mask of comedy, and that manipulation doesn't always come from shadows. It can come from the light. It would make Star Wars' greatest lesson even more profound. Never underestimate anyone. Even the most harmless fool may be playing the deepest game of all. There's even a symbolic reason this fits the story. Jar Jar begins as a literal outcast, banished from his people for being clumsy. The Sith are often outcast from the Jedi, punished for breaking the rules. Both are rejected, both find new masters, both gain power through unconventional means, and both use deception to survive. The Gungan and the Sith share the same path. Only one hides it under laughter. In the end, whether Darth Jar Jar was ever canon or not doesn't really matter. What matters is what he represents. The idea that Star Wars has layers upon layers of mystery, that even the most absurd theory might contain truth. Because that's the power of myth. And perhaps the greatest trick the Sith ever pulled wasn't convincing the galaxy that they were gone. It was convincing us that Jar Jar Binks was just a joke.